are you? How did you get in here?
The man I saw. I'm all but certain it was
Gordon Freeman.
Dr. Wallace Breen, former head administrator of Black Mesa and later on administrator of Earth. In Half-Life 1, he was not seen or heard from, but just referred to as the administrator. The sample that Gordon pushes into the anti-mass spectrometer that caused the resonance cascade was procured by Breen. That's all we know about him regarding the Black Mesa incident. How he got out of there, we do not know. In Half-Life 2, however, his role is much more prominent. In City 17, he has set up his headquarters and administration and serves as Earth's administrator. We can say he's Earth's representative to the Combine. We see him in the screens or Breencasts across the city.
Welcome to City 17.
Hear his voice as he answers questions put forth by citizens or just welcomes people to City 17. Malicious by nature, diabolical since the start, he's the de facto main antagonist of Half-Life 2. A somewhat unique villain in a science fiction world, right? Well, I don't think so. Half-Life 2 doesn't provide a lot of exposition, at least not directly. If you are able to notice, you can piece together the story about what happened between Half-Life 1 and 2. So let's piece together a bit of the story. You see, right after Half-Life 1, portal storms started to occur across the world. These storms were created because of the resonance cascade. Through these portal storms, alien forms from Zen started to enter into Earth. Within a short time, this caused a massive dimensional rift that attracted the attention of the Combine, a huge alien empire that spans multiple galaxies. When the Combine invaded, it marked the beginning of a war called the 7-Hour War. Aptly named because the Combine were able to catch the humans off guard and conquered them in just 7 hours. Now the Combine were set on achieving human extinction, but someone found a way to save humanity. That someone was Dr. Wallace Breen. Through unknown means of communication, he was able to negotiate peace with the Combine. But this peace treaty costed humanity their freedom. After the war had ended, all remaining humans were put into cities like City 17. There was a lot more that happened, but let's stick to Breen for now. The Combine appointed Breen as the administrator for Earth, or in other words, the Combine made Breen their puppet. This is all the overview I think you need to know for now. All that I've stated so far is part of the Half-Life story. But what I'll be sharing now is all speculation. So, we do know that Dr. Wallace Breen is an intelligent man. I mean, why wouldn't he be? He was the administrator of Black Mesa, one of the most advanced science facilities in the world that did research and experiments on teleportation sciences. He wouldn't have gotten to that point in his career without doing anything, right? But what if I say that he is more than just your accomplished and intellectual scientist? What if Breen possesses extraordinary intelligence? Someone who sees problems and their solutions in the widest scope imaginable. For example, in the beginning of Half-Life 2, he says this while answering a question.
Let us consider the fact that for the first time ever, as a species, immortality is in our reach.
Immortality is in our reach. Such a divine statement, but how, or rather, why? Again, going back to talking about his intelligence, he sees things from a much wider perspective. For him, maybe sacrificing a few hundreds, thousands, or even a million people to the Combine is just progress towards a better future for humanity. Maybe he's thinking of humanity's eternal salvation, but wants us to tolerate the oppression for now. As for the how part of this statement, that is a complete mystery. One connection I can make is between Breen and the Combine advisors he's often seen talking to. The advisors may just be the master race of the Combine Empire, as they are known to be the ones who lead all military battles and are deemed extremely intelligent, even being feared by the Wardigons, who themselves, if not powerful, are very intelligent species. It just may be that Breen's connection to the advisors may have led him to discover a way to make humans immortal. But if immortality means being transformed into an alien mass similar to the advisors, then is immortality worth it? In the same Breen cast as the immortality one, he talks of instinct and how it should be expunged, and then appreciates his Combine overlords by saying,
Overcome this compulsion. They have given us a purpose. They have turned our eyes toward the stars.
eyes towards the star. As far as I know, there isn't much talk of the stars in between the citizens. I can assume nobody in the city can understand what he means by that. But what does he mean? The next clip might just provide some connection to this statement. After City 17, you don't hear a lot from Breen. In the last chapter, Dark Energy, you finally come face to face with him. Before you are escorted into his office, here's what he's saying to Eli Vance.
Carbon stars with ancient satellites colonized by sentient fungi, gas giants, inhabited by vast meteorological intelligences, worlds stretched thin across the membranes where the dimensions intersect. Impossible to describe with our limited vocabulary.
The way he's explaining what he knows to his former subordinate gives the impression that he is amazed beyond words and wants Eli to be indulged with this information too. But he can't explain it in words. The thing is, he's seen things that are far beyond human comprehension. Because of being with the Combine this long, they must have shared things with him that has left him without words. The things that he has seen is of universal proportions. What does Breen know that no other human doesn't? Unfortunately, I cannot provide you with full explanation of this mystery. But he has seen enough to publicly state that humans, for the first time, can achieve immortality. Sure, you can say that he might be talking about transforming people into stalkers, but would he really sugarcoat that process by labeling it as becoming immortal? No, not really. He may have lost his mind, but he wouldn't be that mischievous. Whatever knowledge he held is now lost. I sense some sort of intentions that would be of a savior. When you're trying to destroy the reactor that's powering the portal, he says this.
Don't know what you'll unleash. You could bring down this whole citadel. Think, man. Think of the people below.
He was thinking about the people below. Some may say that he's just trying to trick Gordon into stopping, but Would a man who knows that an unstoppable force like Gordon Freeman is destroying his only escape route do that? He knows that he's about to die, but he still thinks of the people below. He cares, who he did call rabble before though. But still, quite an odd thing to think of just before dying. After you destroy the portal to the Combine world, Breen presumably falls to his death. But right before he is presumably falling to his death, he screams.
You need me!
You need me? You may say that he's saying that to the Combine, but really? Why would the Combine care? They can get anyone to be their puppet, their administrator, and even Breen might acknowledge that he's, at this point, useless to them. No, he said, "You need me," to Gordon. But the question is why? I think because he had answers. Answers that would stop the Combine, that would prosper humanity. But it was just too late. Dr. Wallace Breen may look like a simple character, but his dialogue deems him more sophisticated. I speculate that he was playing both sides. He was tricking the Combine, trying to save everyone behind the scenes while acting as the villain for Gordon, Alex, and Eli. But why act as a villain? Well, I guess because the charade would have been out in the open and the Combine would have disposed of him. That's why he was acting in front of the Combine, that he's still their puppet. His fate after Half-Life 2 remains unknown, presumed dead. Dr. Wallace Breen, an anti-hero? The true savior of humanity? The true free man? Or just another pawn in the whole game? In the start, he may have saved humanity selflessly, but maybe, with all that power that he was given, he must have become corrupted. His true nature and identity will never be fully revealed after all this.
Time, Dr. Freeman?